Yeah. To be alive. To be alive. To be alive. Yeah. Can we start? Yeah.
Shall we?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning to everyone. We from NSKD Global have brought forth another webinar from our data analytics series. The topic is visual dashboards. How can they serve as a navigating tool for measuring university performance? Here with me today are my seniors, Mr. Nikhil, Dr. Jason, and my colleague and our data analyst, Ankit Joshi. We would be speaking more on how visual dashboards can be leveraged for measuring university performance and how data analytics serves the purpose at a university. For that, we'll first understand the challenges that university faces in the current scenario. Dr. Jason would take over.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining in on this webinar. We've been researching this topic with universities and understanding the university operations. My name is Dr. Jason Cade, and I have 15 years of experience in all facets of a university, from adjunct faculty, full-time faculty, associate dean, CFO of a university as well. And I've been through all categories and operations of a university. And with my experience, we've worked with our team and we've developed an understanding of a lot of the challenges, especially with smaller universities and having limited resources, and especially in our current economic state, our universities are seeing an increased squeeze from state funding, financial funding for each student. And our proposal today is built around increasing the efficiency of your university. And increasing the efficiency of universities does not mean making cuts to labor, doesn't mean making cuts to resources for students as well. It's simply put using your data that you have, making it live data to where each of us can use this data to make better decisions, more efficient decisions, so the university can thrive even under economic challenges that we face. So we have highlighted, first of all, four operational categories, from human resources to standard operations, financial, and strategic challenges. Within the HR category, when we focus on our challenges that we're seeing in our universities today, many times we're not compensating faculty for the amount of effort that they're putting in. We've seen success with tying compensation with the amount of effort that's being put in with each course, and then essentially faculty performance. Lacking that information for faculty performance means we're allocating compensation and money sometimes in the wrong areas, the wrong departments, and with the wrong employees. With operational challenges, many operational challenges we see, we know that accreditation is changing, it's rapidly changing quickly. One large challenge that small universities are facing is assessments. How can we properly assess our students' learning outcomes with each course? How can we assess program outcomes as well? We're assessing those right now. All the universities are assessing those. Many times it's Excel spreadsheet based, it's paper format. Perhaps it is electronic format, but the data is lying in portals. Operational challenges with that means that when accreditors come, it's a very large task. It's a large task to interpret that type of static data. Are we achieving the assessments that we want? We'll discuss solutions to that as well. Then we have our financial performances. We all understand financial performance is a very large challenge today in our current economic environment in higher education. Much of our performances are driven from our budgeting, right? We know that our tuition revenue drives all other facets of our financial performance and operations as far as that goes. We have solutions that are going to help you perform your financial performance and improve your decision making, especially with today being so critical with allocating resources correctly. Then last but certainly not least, this is our strategic challenges. This is focused on the upper administration of universities. They have more intense pressure today than ever to ensure that they're steering the university in the right direction. That small university has major challenges ahead, from competition to resources to continuing accreditation and accreditation challenges. These decisions are critical for every university, no matter what the size is. It's very important to make sure you have the proper data at the right time when you're making these long planning type of strategic decisions. So those are our four major categories that we have looked at and we have reviewed. So now we're going to kind of turn the page a little bit and let's talk about what data analytics are. So we're going to explain data analytics, and then we're going to get into providing the solutions that we've researched and developed. So first of all, when we think about data analytics, it's definitely a science. It's not an art. Many times our decision making in the past, it's been more of an art and speculation. With data analytics, we can turn those decisions into science, and it's going to be data driven. So no more taking educated guesses or just basing on what our intuition is. We take your intuition and we're inputting and turning that into a science-based decision. So with every science-based decision, it's going to rely on data. Collecting, analyzing, and translating data is at the heart of what our data analytics process is. Okay. Then we move into our decision making, and this is for upper administration. How are we going to support decision making? Your decision making is going to be improved because now you're going to have access to real-time data instead of relying on Excel spreadsheets, relying on different forms of data, and needing to click on 10 different spots and then trying to figure out where are we at operationally, where are we at with assessments, are we achieving learning outcomes, how are the resources that we have that are meeting our student needs, and most importantly, how's our financial performance? Are we going to be able to continue to meet budget? All of these are supported through data analytics and the visualization of those data analytics. Okay. So we highlight just a few solutions with each one of these challenges, from HR, operations, financial, and strategic. So with the HR, with our data analytics, we're going to have machine learning, which is going to be able to map our salary benefits, our compensation with performance within the courses. Each course can be measured. We can measure the amount of time spent, grading feedback, interaction with students, student satisfaction with course surveys. We're going to know who's performing and who needs improvement and challenges. Human resources, we have to figure out, especially with today's budgets, where we need to be spending the money for those key individuals. That's our HR component. With our operations specifically focusing in on learning outcome assessments, program delivery. With our visualization, our data analytics, what we're going to be able to determine then is which programs have the best retention rates, which programs are providing the best margins, not only per revenue, per faculty, per resources, per program. We'll be able to measure program outcomes and assessments, student learning and assessments. All this is going to be combined onto your visualization so that we can make better program decisions. Today, we see a lot of programs that are not excelling. Many programs are in decline. And then we see other programs that's changing with the economy. This is going to help us provide that data to support those decisions. Then we have our financial resources. With our financial data, we have currently within the university, the data is there. The data is static. Data is on the spreadsheets. It may be perhaps even on pie charts, things of that nature. But the issue with it is it's not live data. When you have your live data, we're going to be able to demonstrate second by second data being updated, one click away from understanding exactly how you're performing each day, 24/7. Then we have our strategic. Strategic, again, is aimed at upper administration, those key decisions. Each one of those solutions I've just presented through HR, operations, and financial, that's all accumulating into the strategic category. Obviously, as a leader of the university, you're making decisions not only financially, you're making decisions operationally, and you're making key HR decisions. All those combine to support the planning of the university and leading it through these challenging times that we have. So, with our data analytics packages, this is going to increase your performance as a university, make you more competitive and better decisions. Okay. Next, my partner Nick Hill is going to discuss the KPIs and how our data analytics is going to support this moving
Thank you.
forward.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you for your time and for your key insights. So we research a lot of universities, and we find that there are a lot of challenges with the universities, right? So in terms of their performance, so we identified some key performances where they have to track, right? So they have to track so that their performance can be measured. So starting with the first, like the employee satisfaction, right? The faculty assessment. This is a very important KPI which measures the assessment of the faculty, how the faculty is delivering the courses, what are their feedbacks, right? There are the other KPI includes the scholarship by department or the placement matrices, right? So sometimes the university, they don't have the data that how much placement they have done in the past 5 years or in the past 4 years. But with the use of data analytics, the universities can easily identify their past trends also, right? The other KPI, which includes the feedback rating or a salary distribution. So it's a very important in terms of small universities where the budget is something very important and where the funds are very restricted, and they need to do an allocation on the basis of their funds availability. So if they are not aware of their salary distribution, if they are not aware how much they are paying to other professors or to other senior members or the other faculties, so they will not be in a position to develop a key trend and to understand what should be the future salary for the any new hire. And the other thing is the marketing cost benefit analysis. So many universities, they spend a lot, and their main focus is on the student enrollments. So sometimes as a vice president or as a chancellor, it's very difficult and it's very complicated decision that where they have to put their funds. Sometimes they allocate their budget till 5% of their total spend, sometimes 10%, but we notice that there is no any such data behind that to which guides their decision. So it is very important if we measure the KPI using data analytics, so that will throw us some lights, which we will show you in further sample dashboards, a live dashboard, that how using data analytics we can measure the performance, and we can also find out that in the past 5 years, in fact I can take the data for the past 10 years, that how much it is beneficial, how much profitable it is to spend your funds on particular source, that any source it could be, right? Then it's the other KPI which is important is the student attendance rate, right? So sometimes like the universities which follows not the traditional reporting, and which follows the old reporting format, it's very difficult for them to if some accreditation authorities comes in and they ask for their student attendance, so they find it very difficult to track out to their old records or a manual records to find out the student attendance rate in the past 4 years or 5 years, or the student attendance rate on the basis of different courses. So that KPI, if we measure using the data analytics, that can be easily identified and that can be easily like demonstrated to the authorities as well. Other KPI, which is another is very important, which is a dropout ratio or a course completion rate. So as a decision maker, it's very important to run new courses. It's very important to run courses which are profitable. It is very important to run the courses on which we have higher completion rate, because there is no sense of making courses where there is a low completion rate. And on the basis of the data analytics, it is very easy for any decision maker to understand that what is their completion rate in terms of the past trends, and where they should also find that what has gone wrong in the past, so that they can real time change the courses and they can have a good completion rates. Then we have the year on year enrollment. As I mentioned earlier, that year on year enrollment is simply just a trend, right? So you can easily see the trends in the past 5 years or 10 years, that whether it's going up, is going down, and what is the reason behind that. As well as we can also see the faculty turnover ratio in terms of how many faculty joined and how many faculty left during our courses during the past. Yeah. So we have identified like some of the use case in the data analytics, which really can help uh, delivering, or which can really help the universities uh, in finding out the solutions and finding out where they can plug in any of their departments, right? So the first one is a learning outcome assessment. So it's very key use case wherein we define the system, we define the IT system, wherein we also use data analytics to find out the outcome assessment in every subject, in every course. The other one is assessing faculty needs, the department wise. So we can use this use case wherein we can use predictive analysis using the data analytics, where we can find that how much faculty we need as per the dropout ratio, as per the completion success rate, as per the likability of the my courses, or as per the need of the student. Then it's very important also to maintain the accreditation, right? So as I mentioned, that if the student ratio is very less, if the attendance ratio is very less, or the turnover ratio is very less, so it gives us challenges. So by using data analytics, we can inbuild the data, we can inbuild data analytics technologies, we can also inbuild performance dashboard to identify key parameters, or to identify key reasons wherein we can identify and we can solve those problems, so that we can have a better success rate of our courses. So as I mentioned, like the strategies, so using data analytics and using the data sets in the past, we can easily find out the best marketing platforms where we should focus, which can in return give us the more enrollments, right? Then it's a student attendance, and the last one is the designing the course fee structure. And as we have the data analytics and we have the lot of data in the past, we can easily find out the average cost which we have spent on the courses. We can easily find out how many number of hours faculty have spent on particular course, what are the infrastructure being used on the course. So basis this data analytics only, it will be easier for us to manage the overall organizations, overall universities in such a way that it can be profitable in future.
Right. Thank you, Nikhil sir. Now we'll be moving on to some sample dashboards that we've created for universities. In this sample dashboards, say for we have three: students enrollment, retention, and marketing. What we're trying to show here is how, in all these three separate fields, a university can benefit from data analytics. Let's move on directly to the live dashboard. Let's start with enrollment. So as you can see up top, there is a slicer which filters all the data year wise. There is a department slicer and there is a stream slicer as well. We have uh, now, if I were to talk about the key KPIs that are reflected here, the first one is the total enrollment as per department. Now, School of Philosophy and Religion, as per this data set that we've taken, has 315 students that enrolled. If I want to check the data of 2021, it's 151. Now, if I want to check, if I want to check the data of School of Law, and all the data to be refreshed by the same, I click on the same, and we can see that enrollment percentage has been 46.89. Total fee that has been received has been 345,000, and these are the areas from where the students have enrolled in this course. We also, now if I remove all the filters for now, we also have year by year enrollment right here. This would help in taking key decisions and preparing well for the intake. Moving on to the next dashboard. Nikhil sir, would you take this?
Yeah. So this is the retention dashboard where we can easily find out that which program having a high retention rate, like here the PhD diploma or postgraduate or undergraduate. We can easily find out the past trend of our retention rates. We can easily see how many of total headcounts or how many of total intake there was and how much of the candidate have been retained during that course. We can easily drag and drop. We can easily see as per the locations also that if my one city is performing well, my another city is not performing well. Is there any specific reason with the geography, right? Or is there any special whether I can be able to retain my more female candidates or more male candidates, full time candidates or part time candidates? So it will be easier for any decision maker to, rather than relying on the old spreadsheets or relying on the old data sets, it is the best form of the presentation wherein we can collect all the data from all the data sources and present in such a way that anyone can make decision and anyone can see the live real time picture. Yeah.
That's
Next
right.
dashboard.
Moving on to the marketing one. Now, this is very key because universities need to enter new markets all the time. Could be foreign markets, could be domestic. What I would, what the key KPIs in this dashboard are: the return on investment. Now, say you've invested a few $1,000s in social media marketing, right? And these are this is the overall investment in marketing, not pertaining to any social media or anything. Say if I click on Facebook, now this is the amount invested on Facebook, and this is the profit that you've made. Now how we take out the profit is we compare the fee that is received or the converted leads, as you can see right here in this graph. uh, the converted leads upon the total investment, that is the return on investment. Now if I want to see the same data department wise, I would click on engineering, and right here we have, these are the number of this is the investment that we have made into different marketing firms for engineering. Down here we also have the number of leads by location. Say here in this sample data set, Virginia has 90 leads, and the investment on marketing for the same has been $10,000.
So Pratik, I want to add here some points that, as you mentioned, the marketing is something very, very important for an organization or for an universities, right? Because they have a less funds available. So basis this data, basis the past trends, we can easily find out that how much budget has to be allocated on what source. As we can see here in the dashboards, There can be multiple sources like LinkedIn or Google or television or a television ads or a Twitter, or we can easily see that how much marketing spends we have done as per the courses, as per the departments. So this dashboard will give a real time picture of the profitability of the source, and that can help in further decision making, that where any university have to make the investment to get more candidates. Yeah, go ahead.
Right. So now we're done with the dashboards. Now there are a few technologies that are involved along with analytics to perform all these analysis that we have just shown. Ankit, our data analyst, would like to explain the same.
Thank you, Pratik. My name is Ankit Joshi, and I have been working at NSKT senior data analyst. So now, just not data analysts, but also other technologies are important as to utilize the data. So the artificial intelligence is the main topic in which these data analysis and many other technologies are the subset. We have some of the technologies like optical recognition, machine learning, web portal, and chatbots. So, using those technologies, we save time and cost. We get the result accurate and consistent in operations, and also we will need less manpower to do the job. So first technologies are optical recognition. Now colleges and different type of institution where examination is being held, they use OMR technology, optical mark recognition, for grading and assessment. So using this technology, the results are accurate, and also on real time basis we can get the results. Universities are using OCR technology, OCR technology, character recognition, to increase the security. Also, they are using the uh, optical fingerprint recognition for increasing the security, wherever there are use of fingerprints to secure the library or the databases. Another technology we have is machine learning. So machine learning is a trending technology in today's date, because machine learning is used for prediction. So what we can do with machine learning is we can detect the students who are leaving. So this is important in retention ratios, because we want to know which of the students are leaving, and we can just emphasis our uh, we can guide them, and we can put our emphasis on those type students which are leaving the institution, to deliver custom in class teaching by providing real time feedback from the faculties and students. And also we can identify students who are in need for scholarship through creating such a models where the students are average but they are not getting the scholarships. So the main focus of the universities are on those type of students who are not average but above 90%. But some of the average students who are in need of scholarship, they just opt out of the courses. So machine learning helps them. So after this, we have chatbot technologies. Uh, these type of technologies are being used in many domain, like e-commerce websites, applications, also in universities, and some of the websites where we don't have to go and contact with the support team or the sales development person to for our answers. So we can use chatbot technology where families, students, guardians, they can ask the questions to the robot, and they'll get the real-time answers. And if they have further more questions which cannot be answered by a robot, so those will be directed to the respective faculties or the department. So we have multi-channel support 24 into 7, and this enables educators to reach and teach and counsel their students. Also, this chatbot technology is useful when we want to collect the data from the students and their preferences. Uh, okay.
Perfect. Great, Ankit. I think There are multiple technologies, like as you explained, the machine learning, chatbot technology, and the OCR technology, which can really enhance the reporting and enhance the functionality or the operation challenges, which Jason also explained earlier, that there are a lot of challenges in terms of operations, in terms of strategy, and wherein these technologies can play a very important role. Yeah. Jason, do you want to add something in this?
Sure. I think overall, when you're going from static data and fixed data sets, essentially this whole process is automating. It's automating your data, it's automating your information sources within your university. The dashboards are obviously very powerful, as you can see through the demonstrations. Now, to apply the dashboards, it does take planning, standard operating procedure work to ensure that accurate data is being inputted. So, in SKT Global, we do more than build the dashboards. We ensure that accurate information is going to be sourced and formatted correctly with the standard operating procedures that will be reviewed for each input and the sources of the data as well.
Joining, I am joining in 1 minute. Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. Also, I think as we have applied this technology into other enterprises as well, so the designing SOPs and formats, this process is very critical because collection of data and everything, how it streamlines all the formats, they are to be designed. Otherwise, the thing is that when you sit onto analytics and when you get onto that stage of cleaning the data, it gets very tough even for the analyst, right, Ankit? You could just tell a bit
Yeah.
about data collection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so what we do with how we start creating those dashboards and how we analyze is we take the data from the user, on the data we want to work on, and it is bit of a challenge to take the data from the source because it's on different format. So we take the data on our platform, which is Power BI, on some other platforms, on some of the other applications. So if we are designing dashboard, we take Power BI because Power BI is a world leader in data analysis, and we start cleaning the data. So we don't want the result to be we want the results to be accurate. So data that takes time, and we take out some of the relevant KPIs which are necessary for the company. We design overall SOPs for the companies, and all the operation we figure out what all KPIs we want. We design the dashboards. We test it on the task data. We also test it on regular basis because any new data which is not been cleaned and we have not applied some of the queries on the backend process, so we test those models, and at last we get dashboards which are real time and which have uh, too much information which can be captured and which will be understandable to the uh, owner. So likewise we do our data analysis process.
Right.
Mhm.
Also, as far as the technologies go, I think machine learning needs a bit more explanation. So the scope of machine learning is so immense. I'll just take one example that I've also that is also mentioned in the presentation itself. What we can do is that we can create a model. Say the scholarship point, Ankit. What we can do is we can take for using the chatbot. Now combining of technologies, using the chatbot, we can collect information about a student. Okay, this person is this, the demographics, whatever information we need, preferences, and how they're using our platform exactly, and then we move on to machine learning using the same data. Now, essentially, what machine learning does is it runs the data multiple times under the same model, and it identifies the patterns and trends that are hidden there, which we can't quite get if we look at the raw data. Even so, if
Mhm.
it's in a tablet form, any form, right? So machine learning, what it can do in the specific scholarship case is it can identify those students who are actually in need of scholarship, and instead of applying giving out scholarships just like that, what we can do is we can open forms and we can set up definite criteria that these are the students who you want to offer scholarship to, and these are the people who need the scholarships. So I think, and there's immense data that's collected after that also. And like Dr. Jason also explained, the dashboards are clear measure of explaining all of that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
One,
So yeah, please, doctor.
one thing I was going to add as well, these are general selected KPIs that we've inputted and measured for demonstration purposes.
Yes.
The most valuable point of this whole process is that per your request, what data you want to see, what do you want to measure, what's best for your university, what have you found you want to measure the most in your local markets to be successful. That's where our team is very strong, is this is all customized. What you data want to measure, what trends you want to find, what you want to automate, that's per your choice and per your engagement that we sit down, we discuss, and it's customized. That's the number one major advantage that we have, the ability to customize per client. Mhm.
Right.
Yeah. So
Great,
the
Jason.
data is been changing day by day, month by month, year by year. So the trends and behavior of humans are also changing. So we keep validating the models on machine learning, and we can check those change of patterns on the dashboard on real time. But on machine learning models and on chatbot models, we have to validate the models because the answers and the output is different month by month and year by year. That is a complicated technology, and it has to be validated.
Great, great. I think
Right.
this overall the webinar like it's something which specifically targeted towards the universities only, where how they can use these type of dashboards and these type of technologies to improve their performance.
Right.
So any questions? Like we are open to questions, right? Any questions? So I think one question I have, like in terms of how this process goes, in terms of implementing in the universities, and what challenges we can face, like in introducing these systems, because a lot of things are already manual, right? There is less reportings available. So I need Jason. You can just throw us some light of your experience.
Sure. One thing that we've always had a challenge with essentially is measuring accurate student assessment and program assessment. We need to understand more of what drives successful learning objective uh, obtainment. What type of student, what level of student, what source of student. There may be specific demographics of students who are very successful in certain programs. Obtaining those ex- learning assessments that we are measuring, those are so critical for our accreditation and validation that we are achieving what we set out with those objectives that are set in our syllabus, and we measure those. That's one thing that I think maybe if we could explain more how that could apply and benefit a university with those assessments, how can we go about doing that?
Great, great, Jason. Great. Thank you so much. So I think we have covered a lot of insights with this webinar, and I like the audience or the group. If they have any questions in future, they can definitely throw us the message either through our email or either through our social channels, or they can just put up their questions in our groups, and we will be definitely be there to answer those queries in terms of the implementation or in terms of any of these technologies. Yeah. So once again, thank you all. Thank you for joining this webinar. We have to wrap up this webinar, and we will be definitely coming out with more such webinars where we give you some few insights and with some of the blogs. Do just go to our social channels, then just follow us for the upcoming updates. Thank you so much.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.